Shalom, everyone. It's Ramsey Truth Brothers, and I'm just trying to do my part. I have to do my part. I'm just burning from the inside out to show the people who have just are going on with their life, who some of them has think they found the way, and maybe you have. I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm not here to say anything. I'm just here to simply show what I have learned through the Spirit has showed me, and I have to show you all. I just have to. So please take a minute to sit down and really pay attention and listen to what I have to say the next couple minutes. Here we go. Zechariah 14:16. And I know there's been such a strong delusion, such a strong deception. What I am simply trying to show you is that we are to keep the Father's commandments. We have been deceived for 2,000 years into believing that we don't keep the Father's commandments, that it was fulfilled, that it was done away with, and it was fulfilled. He did up the bar on the commandments. They wasn't done away with. So here we go. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King Yahuwah of hosts, which the King James Version says Lord of hosts. We know that. That's a whole nother video. Can't get into that right now. And to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. So apparently Zechariah, which is the prophet, said that we are going to be keeping the Feast of Tabernacles anyways. So I want to show you that we are supposed to be keeping the feast. Not only have they perverted it and telling us that we don't live by this anymore. It's just old fairy tales. Don't listen to the Old Testament. That's the deception right there, calling it the Old Testament, New Testament, Old Testament, New Testament. It's Scripture. All Scripture is given for doctrine, for a reproof, 2 Timothy. It's Scripture. The perversion goes so deep with Scripture. I mean, not Scripture, but with chapter and verse. People taking one Scripture, one verse, and making a whole doctrine out of just one word sometimes. It's astonishing. We have to unlearn the lies and try to teach try to show as many people as we can the truth. I'm telling you, we're supposed to keep the feast because that's what the Word says. That's what the Father commanded us to do. Moving on. Colossians says, let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of a holy day or of the new moon or of the Sabbath days. So apparently there is still Sabbath days, because if we can't let no man judge us therefore in a Sabbath day or in a holiday. Listen, not only have they tried to take what was sacred, what we was commanded to do, and for the most part they're successful, because look how many people willingly preach against keeping the commandments. I mean, they hate it when you bring up the commandments. They just hate it. Talk about work-based salvation and all this stuff, which I'll get into that here in a second. If I have, I hope I have time. I got to keep this short, under 10 minutes. But they have perverted the holidays. It's not these American satanic Christmas worshiping the tree. Jeremiah 10 tells us not to. Easter, Ishtar worship, the goddess of fertility. Not only that, but April 1st, April Fool's Day, they even admitted to fooling you. April Fool's Day, we got you. That's the beginning of the new year. Spring. It only makes sense. Why would the new year begin in the middle of the winter? Makes no sense. We follow a pagan calendar. We got to be like the story of Daniel, the Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, and not bow to Nebuchadnezzar, not bow to Babylonian false pagan idols and their gods. We can't bow down to that. We have to be separate from the world, like it says in Corinthians, like Paul said. We got to come out from the world by the renewing of the mind. We have the circumcised heart. We've been justified by the blood. Now go sin no more. Keep the commandments. Keep the commandments. I'm telling you, it's important. Revelation 22:14 says, "Blessed are they that do His commandments, that they might have the right to the tree of life, and may enter through the gates into the city." What gates is it talking about? I'm about to show you. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his Elohim. It's the Father, the Son, and the Spirit, and he shall be my son. The New Jerusalem, that's the 12 gates. I've got less than 10 minutes. I got to get right into it. and had a wall great and high and 12 gates, and had 12 gates, and the 12 and the gates 12 angels and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. That's the 144,000. I'm not saying only 144,000 get into the New Jerusalem, but I'm saying the 144,000 are the chosen, who are the who he picks, or who was righteous. Well, not every, but a lot of Christians will tell you, a lot of pastors will tell you that's not for us. That the 144,000, this 144,000. Hang on. This 144,000, and I heard the number of which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 in the tribes of the children of Israel. That's the 144,000. They tell you that it's for the Jews. Listen, we are not Jews. One tribe of the 12 tribes is Jews. Okay, we're to be separate from the world. We're Israel. We're His chosen people. Listen to me. There's been a great deception. I hope that you can unlearn the lies and try to unravel it. And at the end of the day, it's about love. It's about to love your neighbor like you love yourself. It's about to keep His commandments. That's why He gave them to us. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before Yahuwah, and the books were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life, and the book of dead were judged out of those things, judged out of the book of life, which were written in the books according to their works. Listen, people say you're not saved by works, but let me tell you something. You're going to be judged by your works, so you better do the commandments to keep good works. Now that you've been justified, go sin no more. Everyone that He healed, just like I do, if you've read Scripture, He says, go sin no more. So just do that. Now listen, He knows that we're going to sin, not willful sin though. Keep from willful sin. And if we do sin, we have a propitiation. The Messiah is who justifies us. He's like, hey man, I stand for Him. I covered Him. That he's okay. But listen, I'll put it like this. Let's not make Him out to be. Let's not make Him out to be anything. Let's just keep the commandments like He asked us to do. And he justified us. Now let's keep our end of the deal and do the commandments and try our best to stay clean, which He knows that we're going to sin. Anybody who says you have no sin, the truth is not in him. But try your best to stay clean. For the wedding supper, man, there's going to be a greater exodus, the second exodus. Everybody talks about rapture this, rapture that. It's a deception. There's so many man-made religion. It's destroyed everything. I love you guys. Please pass this on. Please share this. Please read Scripture. Get into it. Study. Keep praying. Keep looking up. I love you all. Talk to you soon.